Hola amores, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Christina, aka tu vecina favorita que maquilla, and if this is your first time here, bienvenidos. So some of you may have already seen my Ancestry DNA results video, and I had a few people comment on there, oh, you should upload your DNA results to the GED Match website. So I finally did that today. I downloaded my raw DNA data from the Ancestry website and I uploaded it to the GED Match website. So I wasn't too sure about what exactly it was, but I followed some instructions that I found online and I was able to upload it. So it basically takes your raw DNA and it, I guess, takes it through their database, which has like multiple different, I don't even know what you would call them, like databases or applications of different people who have compiled their own ethnic admixture type of databases. So some of them are more specific to like European DNA, some of them are more specific to your African DNA, some of them they look at like all world populations. So I compared my DNA from Ancestry among like 10 different, I don't know what you call them, databases. So anyway, surprisingly, a lot of them actually matched pretty well with what my Ancestry DNA results were. So I was like, okay, I guess a lot of these are actually pretty accurate. So anyway, if you guys want to see how my Ancestry DNA results compared to these GED Match admixture ethnic DNA databases, then just keep on watching. So real quick, I will upload a quick snapshot of what my Ancestry DNA results were. And then I'll move on and I'll show you guys the pie charts and the graphs that I got from the GED Match website. So this is the first one I did. This is the Ethiohelix Africa K10 plus French. So this one focuses more on African ethnicities, and then it basically groups any European DNA under this French category. So as you can see, I had 33% French or European, and then the rest was African. So my highest there is 23.68% West African. It doesn't really break down those, but then it does provide more specific information for like the Central, Southern, or East African DNA. So I had 12% North African DNA, 17% Eastern Bantu, 6% Biaka Pygmy, which is apparently Pygmy people who lived in southwestern and central Africa and the Brazzaville region of the Republic of Congo. I had Nilo-Saharan, which apparently is a family of East African languages spoken by the Nilotic peoples from Sahara South to Kenya and Tanzania. So I guess this refers to people that live in that region. And then I also had Khoisan, which is South African, and then Omotic, which apparently is Southwest Ethiopia. Okay, now this is another Ethiohelix, and this is African only. So I had a lot of the same regions. Again, my highest was West African, 33%, and then I had the Nilo-Saharan again. I have East Africa, 1 and 2. I have no idea what the differences are between the two. I had the Khoisan again, which is Southern Africa, the Biaka Pygmy, North African, and then I also had Hadza, 1.25%, which apparently is an indigenous ethnic group in North Central Tanzania. So this is the Punt DNAL K10 Ancient. So this looks at 10 ancient populations. So with this one, my highest percentage again is at Sub-Saharan African at 51.74%. Then I had 15% early Neolithic farmer, 15% Western hunter-gatherer, and 10% Caucasus hunter-gatherers, and that's all European. Then I also had 5.64% Amerindian, 1% East Asian, and 0.76% Oceanian, which is the Aboriginals of the Pacific Ocean Islands. So when you lump it all together, it's 51.74% African, 40.86% European, 5.64% Native American, and 1.76% Asian. So it's basically almost exactly the same as my Ancestry DNA results. And I'm pretty sure that Asian probably ties in with the Native American because, most Native American populations migrated over from East Asia through the Bering Strait and down into the Americas. Okay, so this is another punt DNALK15. This one looks at 15 modern populations and focuses primarily on Africa, particularly East Africa, but also includes, West Asia, Europe, and the Americas. So for this one, again, the highest was West African there at 43%. I also had Northeast European, 15%. Mediterranean, 17.5%. So I think that would probably come mostly from like the Spanish, Portuguese, Italian DNA that I had. I also have here Omo River, which apparently is Ethiopia. I have White Nile River, which from what I looked up is areas from like Sudan, South Sudan, and down into Uganda. I had the Horn of Africa there, which includes, Eritrea, Ethiopia, and Somalia. And I also had Beringian, which I had no idea what that was, but that is apparently a Native American. So it's an ancient population that migrated from Asia into the Alaskan territory, but they ended up kind of branching off and stayed in Alaska. So their population pretty much died off many years ago, though. So with this one, when you sum it all up, it's 53% African, 36% European, 6% Native American, and 3% Asian. This one here is Harappa World. Apparently, it's primarily for South Asian ancestry, but it does also include, European, African, and Native American. So this one, again, had me at West African with the highest at 46%, included Mediterranean, Northeastern European, Native American, Caucasian, Southwest Asian. It also included Balik, which is people of the Iranian Plateau and the Arabian Peninsula, primarily the Middle East. It also included the San, which is Bushmen of Southern Africa. Again, it included the Pygmies there and East African. So one thing I'm definitely seeing is these tests all include a lot more East African than the Ancestry DNA results did. Okay, so the last one I'm going to show you guys here is the MDLP World 22. So this one looks at 22 global populations, including ancient populations. So for this one, again, my highest region there is at Sub-Saharan African at 48%. I also had Atlantic Mediterranean Neolithic 15%, Northeastern European 12%, Near East, which apparently is like the Middle East, along with some Southwest Asian at 8%. Now this one actually broke down the North American DNA a little bit more. So I had 3.13% Mesoamerican, which is native to Central America, 2.30% South American Amerindian. So I think that's the South American Indian Native American DNA that my Ancestry DNA results picked up. And then 0.99 North Amerindian. I also had that Pygmy again, West Asian, Indian there at 1.78%. I had North Euro Mesolithic, 1.44%. I also had Paleo-Siberian, Indo-Iranian, South African, and also Melanesian, 0.56%, which is a sub-region of Oceania and occasionally Australia, which is extending from the western end of the Pacific Ocean to the Arafura Sea and eastward towards Fiji. So when you add it all up, it's 51% African, 28% European, 12.86% Asian, because I did include the Near East in there, and then 6.42% Native American. All right, guys, so those were all the results. As you guys can see, most of them were pretty consistent with my Ancestry DNA results as far as the overall percentage of African versus European versus Native American DNA. For the African, for all of them, I was right around like 51 to 52% African. For the European, it was all around, that 30 to 40% range. And then for the Native American, around that 6-7. And then, that Asian. So again, I think I would loop in most of that like Siberian, East Asian, probably in with the Native American. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't checked out my Ancestry DNA results video, definitely check that out. I did go a little more in depth about Dominican culture, as a whole in that video, and provided a few clips of music in there. So yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see makeup tutorials or the tutorial for this look, which is my B-Day turn up, which is tomorrow, by the way, yay, look, or maybe it might be today by the time you're watching this. But anywho, I love you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.